People think the scariest part of my job was walking into blood-soaked homes or finding bodies in ditches. That's not true. The scariest part of being a homicide detective was when you couldn't find a killer, when you had nothing but a gut feeling and a trail that never stopped going cold. For me, that trail started in 2007, and it haunted me long after my badge was turned in. This is a case that ended my career, the one no one believed, but I swear to you, every word is real. Case file 11-07643. Victims: Daniel Blake, 41, Karen Blake, 39, Jacob Blake, 7. Survivor: Thomas Blake, 14. Location: Palm Ridge, Florida. I remember pulling up to the house that night. Clean suburban streets, porch lights on. One of those neighborhoods where nothing bad ever happens until it does. The 911 call had come in from Thomas Blake, the eldest son. The dispatcher couldn't make out much, just sobbing. The words, he smiled the whole time, and please don't let him find me. The house was a mess, blood everywhere, mother and father stabbed to death in the kitchen. The youngest son, Jacob, was found upstairs, throat slit, in his bed. No sign of forced entry, no fingerprints, and no evidence of a break-in. But Thomas was hiding inside the dryer in the laundry room, clutching a kitchen knife and shaking so badly we thought he might go into shock. When we asked him what happened, he described someone breaking in, pale skin, a wide, twisted smile, stringy black hair, and large, lidless eyes. Thomas said the intruder said to go to sleep. Then he started cutting. We chalked it up to trauma. Kids don't process horror the same way adults do. We assumed he invented a monster to avoid the truth. Maybe he had a psychotic break. The department leaned hard on that theory. But it didn't sit right with me. There was something about the way he described that smile. It wasn't the invention of a frightened boy. It was recollection. Over the next few months, Thomas was institutionalized. No charges were ever filed. There wasn't enough evidence, and the department didn't want the PR nightmare of blaming a teenage survivor. I tried to move on. Lord knows I did. But then it happened again. Case file 12-03488. Location: Savannah, Georgia. Date: April 9, 2008. Victims: Emma and David Foster. Survivor: daughter, age 9. She said a man broke into the house at night. Pale skin, big smile, whispered, "Go to sleep." My stomach sank when I read the report. Same signature, same MO, different state. I contacted the lead detective in Savannah and asked if he'd ever heard of the Blake case. He didn't. I emailed him my findings. A week later, he was dead. Officially, car accident. Unofficially, the crash report didn't match witness statements. There were no brake marks. He just drove straight off the overpass. That's when I realized something. This wasn't just a killer. This was something else, and no one else wanted to follow the thread but me. Over the next few years, I collected clippings, files, coroner reports. They all had similar markers. No signs of forced entry, facial mutilation of victims, children reporting a man with a smile cut into his face. The words "go to sleep" either spoken, whispered, or written. By 2013, I had connected 7 murders across 5 states. I had a case. But no one listened. The department eventually ordered me to stop contacting other jurisdictions. I was getting a reputation. That's when they gave me the desk, the final insult. So I retired, but I didn't stop investigating. In 2016, a contact of mine in Arizona, private security, sent me footage from a home surveillance system in Sedona. The family was murdered. Parents, one child. The footage showed a figure in the hallway. Not in focus, but tall, thin, pale, and smiling. The camera glitched the moment the figure turned to face it. A full second of static. Then darkness. I watched the clip hundreds of times. There's a moment just before the static, when the eyes of the figure catch the light. Two pale dots reflecting like an animal's. Something about the way he stood, it wasn't human posture. Too still. Like he was waiting for the camera to see him. And then he was gone. In 2018, I started seeing something strange. Teenagers were talking about an online story. Jeff the Killer. A creepypasta. Internet boogeyman. He had a white face, a carved smile, and whispered, "Go to sleep." My heart damn near stopped. You're telling me this thing I've been chasing since 2007 is now an internet meme? I started digging. Forums, archive sites, Reddit posts. And that's when it hit me. The earliest Jeff story didn't appear online until 2008, a full year after the Blake murders. So here's my question. What if the creepypasta wasn't the origin? What if the story came from somewhere? From someone who saw him? What if the myth came second? And what if that's exactly what he wanted? I found Thomas again. He was 27, living under a new name, working a night shift job in Oregon. Quiet, off the grid. When I finally reached him, he agreed to talk. He didn't blink the entire time. "I don't sleep," he told me. "Haven't in years." "Not really." "Do you still see him?" I asked. He smiled, but not in a good way. "He doesn't visit anymore. I think he's moved on." "To other kids?" I asked. Thomas nodded. He never wanted to kill me. He wanted me to watch. Just last year, 2024, I received a flash drive in the mail. No return address. On it, audio from a 911 call placed in Charleston, South Carolina. A child is screaming. You can hear the operator try to calm him down. Then a faint whisper in the background. "Go to sleep." The child stops crying, and the line goes dead. Closing thoughts. I'm not asking you to believe me. Hell, I barely believe myself, but I can't ignore the facts. The smile never changed. The timeline doesn't match the creepypasta. And he always comes for the kids who see him, but leaves one alive. Like he's spreading something. A legend, a name, a virus of belief. And the more we talk about him, the more we click, share, comment, the more real he becomes. He doesn't just live online. He lives in the dark. He lives in the gaps between the facts. And if you've made it this far in the story, he knows your name now. Thanks for listening to Day 24 of the Draconian Universe Horror Marathon. If you're still awake, look over your shoulder. And if you hear someone whisper, "Go to sleep," don't. We've still got more nightmares ahead. Stay haunted, stay curious, stay Draconian. Good night.